Welcome to Money Tree Investments, and today we are going to talk about debt, how to get ourselves out of debt on our way to financial freedom. Debt is something that brings to us as human beings not necessarily the most positive emotions. So I would encourage you to be as kind as you can and as patient as you can to yourself while sorting out debt. And also, I would highly encourage you, instead of being upset that you have made some decision in the past, probably not necessarily the best financial decision you could have done, I'd highly encourage you to thank yourself. Do you know why today you know better than yesterday or a while ago? Do you know why today you can make better financial decisions? Well, it's actually because of those lessons, which you might call financial mistakes. It's because of these lessons, financial lessons, which your younger self has done at some point, and now you know better. So thank yourself even for the mistake. Send the good energy out there, send the positive energy out there, be thankful, be grateful, bring gratitude into your life every single moment of your day. Choose and focus on the good things, and this is how you can make it a bit easier. There's a lot of overwhelm that can come with that, there's a lot of procrastination, and another easy thing to do, again, instead of necessarily looking at the whole thing, maybe do just one thing. If today you're feeling too overwhelmed to deal with it, please just do one thing. One thing today, it will make tomorrow easier, definitely easier, and definitely it will reduce the chunk of work you might need to do in order to reduce your debt or to clear your debt on your way to financial freedom. So where do we start? What should you do? We know where we want to go. We want to be financially free, right? But in order to do that, we need to have clarity of where we are at the moment. And if you are in business, if you are in a job, there are a number of ways you can do in regards to your finances. So you might have personal debt, or you might have business debt, or you might have, if you are like us, joint debt. So take a bit of time with yourself or with your partner, depending on your situations, and sit down, take a pen and paper. I'm a big fan of pen and paper simply because it adds another layer to your memory, and write down all the debt you have. Write down all the personal debt, and separate to that, write down all your business debt if you have a business, or if you have more than one business and you have debt in more than one business, write it for each one of them individually, separate it as much as you can. The more we separate, the more we break it down, the better and the easier to deal with. And if you have a partner, write down the joint debt you might have. Your house, if you have a house, if you have a mortgage, that is probably not necessarily a good debt. If it doesn't put money in your pocket, it's not a good debt. If it puts money in your pocket, it's a good debt. So I would encourage you to even add the mortgage to your debt, because it is debt. Many people say, oh, I actually don't have any debt. I don't have any credit cards. I don't have any personal loan. I don't have anything. Do you have a car? Do you have car insurance that you pay monthly? If yes, then you definitely have debt. You have debt with the financial company who lent you the money in order for you to be able to pay monthly for the car insurance company. So you might actually deal with two completely different companies here. So have a bit of time for yourself and write down everything, so you have clarity, so you know on what you have to work, and so you know what's the next step that can be done. Now that you've write down all your debt, I would suggest you do the same with the income. Is there any disposable income at the end of the month or at the end of the week, depending on how you do your finances? Is there any disposable income that can be geared towards your debt? If there is, you can choose. Many people out there say, oh, you really should start with the biggest balance and with the highest interest. Other people say, don't bother about the biggest balance and the highest interest. Start with the smallest balance and with the smallest interest. Which one is right? The one that is right is the one that you feel is right. The most important here is you. The most important is your journey. The most important is that you feel good through it. I know we are talking about that. I am aware that there are not the best emotions in it. However, we still can do really well even if we are in that situation. And I promise you, it's temporary. I have been there myself. I have been there unwillingly through life circumstances, and I've been there willingly through choice. I've been naughty. So I will share that with you, but let's just keep on course, if I can say so. So we've write down all our debts separately if we have business or joint debt, and we've write down all our income again separately. Personal income, joint income, business income, separate as much as you can. And now we are looking to see if we have any kind of disposable income. When you write down your debts, have a look at, have I got to pay £100 a month or £200 a month or dollars, whatever your currency is? What is the minimum that you can pay, and what is the date when that payment has to come out? There is something which is called one simple move which can be done. It's called selling your debt. You can sell your debt, literally, you can sell your debt. So you can go to your current lender and say, is there a solution for this? If there is no solution, if they say, oh, sorry, we can't help you, then you can go to a different lender. It might be the next door bank, and that's it, who would be happy to buy your debt. So let's say you have £1,000 debt as a personal loan from Bank A. Bank A says, sorry, we can't help you. You still have to pay 12% interest. Then you say, thank you very much, and you move on, because one door closes, it opens a better one. It usually does. Most of the time for me has done so. So we move to Bank B or lender B, whatever is there, and say, I've got this current debt. I'm paying 12% interest. Can you help me so I can do better? I'm really keen to clear my debt. And they might say to you, you know what? We'll give you the money. We'll pay your debt off with the Bank A, and we will charge you only 9% interest. Already you have done quite a smart move, because you have reduced the interest you're paying, which is brilliant. But as you know, in the financial industry, there is a lot of small writing. So before you sign anything, make sure you check the small writing. You check all the exit fees, you check all the management fees, whatever fees. Sometimes some of these products have so many fees that you don't even know the names of them. So just be very careful on the small writing. Brilliant. So I've told you about selling your debt. Now that we know how much is debt, let's say debt A, the big one, debt B, the medium one, debt C, the smaller one. Think of yourself. What would work best for yourself? Would it work to start to work at the big chunk? Would it work for you to start to work at the small one? What works for you? That's the most important here. You are the most important, and making this journey a journey that not necessarily you enjoy, but a journey that you're willing to take rather than procrastinate and go around and be like, I don't want to see my debt. Oh, I'm so full of it. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. No, if we can do that, if we can help you slowly work at it, that's the best thing to do. For me, for example, I really needed to see things taken off. Tick the boxes, I've got rid of this. So I've started with the smaller debt. I think it was a credit card, I can't remember exactly what was at that time, maybe a personal loan, whatever it was. But I've created a 12-month plan. January, I want to pay this much. And then I would keep at that particular debt until I would finish it. I actually have looked, sorry, I didn't realize I got out of the video. So I actually looked for a specific diary today, which said, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll tell you what it says. So it says clear debt, credit card, 8,000. As foreigners, we have oh, I'm missing the word. As foreigners, we got debt due to the immigration. We had to do immigration files, we had to obtain our right to be here, we had to do quite a lot. So credit card, 8,000 pounds. Whoo! I looked at how much disposable we had, and here it says 2,000 pounds cleared by 30th of September. 2,000 pounds a month cleared by 30th of September. So this is what you can do. If you've got 1,000 pounds and you've got 100 pounds disposable a month, you can say every month I'll pay 100 and I will clear it by. Do write down when you will clear it by, because it will actually help you quite a bit. I'd like you to actually know that debt, instead of being cleared by September that year when I was thinking, it has been cleared by August. When you make a plan, a little bit of a plan, it doesn't have to be complicated, it has to be a plan that works for you, it has to be a plan that makes you comfortable. The plan actually happens faster because you start to work towards it, and the universe and God starts to work with you, and that gets cleared out. And then we've got driveway was the next one. It said 1,000 pounds by October. I was like, brilliant, we'll do that as well. It got cleared, it really got cleared. And then we've got other things here. Oh, at the bottom it says, in regards to energy of disappointment, listen to this, honestly. Property investment 20,000 by 1st of December 2019. As you probably know, as you already know, our property journey has only started in February 2021. So although that writing there of 20,000 to start the property journey did not happen, we are absolutely fine, because we believe that when it started at the right time and when we were actually ready for it. So if you've got something written down that is not happening, a goal, a lot of people, especially in the business world, they go, oh, so what are your goals? Oh, what is your New Year resolution? Wonderful people. It's absolutely fine to have no resolution, and it's absolutely fine to have a life that you live by dreams rather than New Year's resolutions. I promise you, just do what works for you. It doesn't matter what works for left or right. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You might be even in your own family, in your own household, a person that you love, they might work in a different way. And that's absolutely fine. Here we are focusing on you because you are the most important. Right, so we found out how much disposable income you have. We have said what works best for you, to clear the small debt or to clear the big debt, and that's what we are going to do. We create a 12 months plan. If it needs 12 months, if you can do it in 3 months, that's even better, because we can then move on at the next step on your financial journey. So if you need any kind of help, just put it down in the comments. If you have any kind of questions about that, please put it down in the comments, and I would love to support you through the journey. One thing I'd like to add, the last thing I'd like to add is maybe 2 things. Allow me 2 things. When I was in debt, I was really challenged by the fact that I actually can't save. I have been brought up by my grandma Lina most of the time when I was at the countryside, and my grandma Lina was really good at managing her money. She would, if necessary, she would make a bit more cheese with milk from her cow and sell, so she can add a bit more to her saving pot. So I've been brought up by a woman who has been very good at money management. My grandma from my father's side was really good at money management, but she wasn't necessarily very loving towards me. So I've spent way more time with Grandma Lina rather than with the other one. But the other one was quite rich actually, through her own work. And I was really challenged in my debt clearing journey to be able to save. I was like, there's nothing growing. It was such a dead energy. Yes, I was kind of happy clearing debt, but in the same time there was like, oh, how long more? And the children were small at the time, and I was like, oh, will it ever finish? Will it ever end? Yes, it will end. I promise you. It's temporary. Just keep at it as much as you can, and it will end. So in order to sort out that saving problem which I had, I was saving every single month 50p. I was so craving for that emotion. I was so craving for that vibe in my life that I really needed to do even the 50p. At the times when I was homeless, when I was going through cervical cancer, when I was separating from an abusive relationship, 50p was actually not affordable. I even needed that 50p. But I've turned things around. I have done my best, and I still saved the 50p. I really needed to see something growing somewhere, you know? Right. So I said I'll tell you one more thing. This was one of them, what kept me going. Another thing which I wanted to share with you is when I've actually willingly put myself into debt. So when I've finished with all the bad debt, and then I got help from the council to get this house where we live now. I got it when I was homeless with the children. I really wanted to invest in property. And what do you think clever me did? I went to Robert Kiyosaki and bought a £4,000, that was nearly 10 years ago, £4,000 property thing. Now, it wasn't a bad thing, but I wasn't ready for it, and I put it on a credit card. So this is how I was naughty, and I willingly put myself into debt. It's not the best thing to do. I'd say don't do it. Take your time and maybe start with the beginners companies rather than the big companies which charge the big money. I'm grateful to my younger self for doing so, but I'm not sure I've helped myself in too many ways by doing so. Any questions you have, please put them in the comments. I'd love to support you through the journey. I love to see you all financially free, and I would really encourage you, if you can't find the strength now to deal with everything we've talked in this video, do just one thing.